And say the pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Let the record show all members are present. Okay, I'm going to read the public comment policy statement. If there's anybody from the public that wants to make a comment to the board, they will need to go over to the table over here and read the script and fill out the form to make a public comment. At the beginning of the meeting, we will reserve about 30 minutes for public comments, but you will only get 3 minutes to speak on your topic. The board will not respond. Okay. Everybody looked the consent agenda over. We've got a couple modifications. We want to remove 4B. We want to move 1B to discussion decision. And we'll put that behind 3A. We can.
I'll make the motion to approve the consent agenda with the revisions that Chairman Shea has outlined.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Motion to approve the consent agenda with the 2 modifications from Miller and Jorgensen. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carried. Public comments. Anybody got a public comment? I do not think we do. Next up, any new hires? I don't think there is. Next up is Brenda Mainwaring, President and CEO, Iowa West Foundation. Update and discussion of grant awards cycle 2. Good morning, Brenda.
This is my usual trip. You may have read some of the information in the newspaper, but I always try to be in attendance so you can ask any questions you might have. A couple of things that I do want to highlight for you. Our grant awards this year were this cycle, $4.6 million. $1,000 was available to each of the Potawatomi County cities for events that they create that we think contributes to developing a sense of community, belonging. I handed that out to you. You have it at your desk. You can see that. We can talk about it if you want. Additionally, on the grants that are of particular note to the county, City of Crescent, Community Hall renovation, City of Imogene, North Bar, South Bank renovation, Danish Mill Corporation, Family Crisis Center is for rural call-in services. Friends of the Griswold Library to get some space between grown-ups and kids since they experience libraries quite differently usually. The Food Bank of Iowa is for external rural counties outside Potawatomi. Green Hills Area Education Agency, as all of you know, that is one of our signature programs. We've been doing it, I think, about 20 years now, making sure that preschools throughout Potawatomi County are able to have at least one all-day 4-year-old preschool. I will say of that 1.35 million, about $1 million of that goes to Council of School Districts, but we make sure that the funding goes first to make sure every school district in Potawatomi County has the ability to have a classroom, and then we start looking at need. The Iowa Natural Heritage Foundation for their School of the Wild, which introduces young people to conservation and gets them outdoors and experiencing nature. The National Alliance on Mental Illness, NAMI, some funding to provide services throughout Southwest Iowa. And then, of course, field trips that we do for the Symphony, the Rose Theater, other organizations are specifically intended for students throughout all of Southwest Iowa. And then the rural fire departments, Carson, Macedonia, Missouri Valley, Trainer, City of Underwood, and Walnut. And I skipped over Nebraska Philanthropic Trust because I know Susan said she had some questions. So wrapping up with that, that's one of our larger grants this time. The Nebraska Philanthropic Trust is the fundraising entity for Metro Community College, which is adding nationally ranked training center just out towards Gretna for first responders across a wide range. We know that training is one of the areas that really is difficult for volunteers, especially in rural fire departments, to get the training. And so this training adds to the capacity. We did talk to Council Bluffs Chief Davis and Council Bluffs Chief James at the time about their interest in using it. They already use Metro Community College. We confirmed that Iowa Western doesn't have any immediate plans to expand its training. They do have some basic training there. This will go well beyond that. As an example, I think it was last year that there was an elevator explosion in Fremont, Nebraska. Those are the kinds of things that require emergency responders to really use some unusual skills. When those things happen, we want to make sure that the emergency responders in our area have had access to the training so they feel comfortable going into those circumstances. With that, I will let you pepper me with questions.
So the training that you just described, is it on campus then in Gretna?
It is.
So how does that benefit the volunteer fire departments that their volunteers work full-time and do their training on evenings or Saturdays or Sundays, whenever they can get a group together?
It's a problem. I mean, I think that it's a problem now, finding training for those rural volunteer fire departments to get the training done. This doesn't diminish any of the training that they're currently able to get, but it adds another layer. And it will be a challenge for the rural volunteer fire departments to figure out how to get their people there. But at least we are improving access to the kind of training that they might want.
So you're expanding curriculum, so I'm assuming that there's still a fee that would be charged to each attendee,
I assume so,
similar
yeah.
to like a classroom environment.
Yeah, but I believe Metro there's some cross-state opportunities. So I know that a lot of training currently happens for Metro, certainly for Council Bluffs. This is at least new training for the organizations that are able to take advantage. But getting training for volunteers is a huge problem. This is one small step toward at least making sure training is available.
Thank you.
Well, I know Crescent is pretty excited about that grant.
Crescent's done a lot of work on that community center already, and I think they've done a lot of exterior work, and this is going to allow them to do a bunch of interior work.
Very excited.
You got a rural fire departments heading here, for gear and equipment.
Mhm.
They're facing challenges as far as pay, and volunteering. They might have to go down that pay road. Is that something Iowa West is looking at?
No, in
They
fact,
do?
if they're paid, they are not qualified to receive funding.
They're not, okay.
Because
so
then it becomes
volunteer departments are,
Yeah, because then it becomes a tax-based organization.
okay, all right. So it's gonna be a state issue at some point then.
Yes.
Yeah.
So is that true of Lewis Township?
I don't know specifically.
I believe they've got 2 people paid.
So they can have like supervisors paid, but they have to have a volunteer base in order to be qualified
They
as a
do.
volunteer fire department.
They do that. Yeah.
And it might be a split between EMS or your ambulance service that have full-time employees and
Yeah.
your volunteer firefighters.
Yeah. And we did some tweaking, and I shouldn't even bring it up because you're going to ask me questions I can't answer. But we did some tweaking this year so that if rural fire departments work together, they can qualify for additional funds. So we really want to start, this is something that I know Susan has been working on this, trying to figure out how does the county leverage limited resources to make sure everybody benefits. And so we're trying to support that by saying, if you find a way to work together, you can qualify for some additional. Training would be one of the areas that they could qualify for some additional funding.
So tell us more about the Iowa West Foundation initiative for growing CV.
So Brian and Jeff Franco have been part of that, as has Kate Gerber, been participating in our steering committee with the Chamber of Commerce, Iowa West, and City of Council Bluffs and Advanced Southwest Iowa to think about how we can add population to our region. I think all of us have heard, and it's not unusual across the state of Iowa that especially rural, but also Council Bluffs has not grown in any meaningful way. That makes it very difficult to sustain operations on a tax base that doesn't grow. And so we're collectively with county and others looking at how we can find things to do that will encourage people to come to Council Bluffs. Amenities and recreation that the county has in abundance. Those are some of the things that cause people to say, that looks like a great place to live. The Chamber of Commerce is working on making sure that when somebody gets a new job in Omaha and they go and say, where should I live in the Omaha Metro? That Council Bluffs is popping up to the top of the search engines. So people say, Council Bluffs, that looks like a lovely place. Rural Potawatomi County, that looks wonderful. We're working on those kinds of things with those funds.
We were just talking about that earlier. Grow CB, is that?
That's what we're calling it, eventually.
Grow Potawatomi County. That's
Well,
what we're talking.
It's a huge effort. You have to start someplace. We are very specifically engaging Potawatomi County, but if we grow Council Bluffs, we have grown Potawatomi County.
Brenda, the food bank for the Heartland, do you see an increase in that?
I don't know the answer to that right now. I know as an order over the course of the last several years, I think, yes, we've definitely seen it. Right now, today, I think all of us would expect the answer is yes, but I don't know that for a fact.
Want me to ask, Mr. Wickman?
Go ahead. I'm waiting for you guys to get done.
How are the casino receipts in light of the new competition?
I will repeat what I've said previously at the risk of boring you, but when the state first understood that Nebraska was coming in with gaming, they did a statewide study and they anticipated up to a 40% decline in Western Iowa from Nebraska. Our casinos have, they know how to run a good quality operation and they have kept that decline, I would say, under 15%. So it still is felt. It's felt by all of you who get casino revenues, but they've done an excellent job and they are confident that once the newness of the Nebraska casinos kind of wears off, that they will be back where they have been.
Plus, aren't they going through some renovation too?
Ameristar is just starting on
Right.
Building a brand new building
Mhm.
on the parking lot.
Now, it's my understanding that smoking is not allowed in Nebraska, on the Nebraska
correct.
side. Is that correct? And somebody is mentioning that that's going to be a political issue in Iowa, smoking in the casinos. Have you heard anything about this
It
yet?
comes up about every year in the legislature.
Okay, but probably not going anyplace at this point.
Has not so far. I would not want to predict what the legislature might do.
Well, you've already answered 4 of mine, Brenda, but yeah. Remind me again what the STARS program is, would you please?
STARS is a scholarship program for single parents who maybe didn't finish high school, didn't finish a college course, and they now are looking and saying, I can support my family better if I get if I complete an educational program. So it may be a dental hygienist, it may be a bachelor's degree, but it's targeted on post-high school, typically a few years at least post-high school, single parent families.
Have you had decent enrollment in that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, that program has been going on. Susan could tell you more than I can. That program's been going on 30 years.
Yes.
And so it has graduated hundreds of people. And we did a pretty in-depth study over the course of the last couple of years to say, is it making a difference? And we can chart to say where the salaries, the income of a family was before and where the income of a family was after is definitively higher. So yes, it is making a difference.
I attended the graduation ceremony in May, and I think there were probably 22 graduates. And it's neat to see the student be recognized, but also their children are with them, and they see the improvement and the necessity for the program.
And that's managed, our agent that's managing it, we're the sole funding source, but Council Bluffs Schools Foundation runs that program for us,
That's one more.
of course.
Are, are you moving towards, financing or helping with financing some construction projects?
Can you be more specific?
Yes. The North Bar South Bank renovation, the Crescent Center.
So, I think all of us understand that rural communities need to have resources, physical resources in order to survive. Community centers, places where people can gather is an important part of that. Finding the funds as, as buildings get older, finding the funds to renovate them is difficult. When a community comes to us with a good bit of fundraising already in place, we never fund more than 50%. Usually it's considerably less than 50%. But we want to make sure that if a community is trying to save its downtown, maintain some historical character to its downtown, we do often participate in those.
An example, if the county was funding the majority of a new bridge over a lake in a park.
That would be an infrastructure, and we do not fund roads.
Well, we're constructing it.
Are you going to drive on it?
No,
Nobody's going to drive on it?
no,
Oh, it's a pedestrian bridge.
yes,
Oh, that might be. Is it on a trail?
yes. Well, connecting to over a
Yeah,
body of
you
water.
should, I mean, if that's completing a trail and it's not just a sidewalk that, and it doesn't sound like it is. Yeah, I would say that's part of a trail program, and we've done a lot of trail support, so certainly worth talking to the team about that.
Who's the team?
Start with Matt Hinkes.
I don't have any more. Thanks, Brenda.
Brenda, I've got questions on the fire departments. How come some of them, they can apply for 10,000, correct? How come some are like 9,835, 9362?
Because it's based on what they actually spend. So they have to produce receipts for the amount that they get paid for. And I will point out Missouri Valley, outside of Potawatomi County, they get 4,000. Inside of Potawatomi County, they get up to 10,000.
Okay, all right. Any other questions? Brenda, thanks for coming in.
It's a pleasure.
We got you in and out.
I know, I appreciate it. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Brenda.
Thank you. Okay, next up, we're gonna call this 3A+1. This is discussion decision on employment of a road deputy. And we were gonna start at step 5. Can you explain?
Yeah, we hired Justin Dillard from the DEA. He's the agent in charge of the Omaha's field office. He's 51, comes to us with 27 years of experience at the federal level. Plus, he was a Colorado State Trooper prior to that. 30 years plus law enforcement experience. We were very fortunate to nab him. Competitive, Council Bluffs and us. We won out. So he comes to us, he's gonna go to nights. And I mean, from a personal standpoint, I can think of nobody better to teach some of our younger deputies with 30 years of experience in law enforcement and running a field office in Omaha, doing high risk warrant service with the DEA. So yeah, step 5 is, I mean, you probably should start higher with his years of experience, but step 5 is a good compromise for him coming to us with his level of experience.
Now, when the contract is approved, he won't step up there, and will he?
No, my understanding is that's not how that would work. So
Okay.
he would start
Stay at 5.
day at 5,
Okay,
and then
New.
next year, whatever happens with that would change.
well, with that kind of experience, that's a big deal, and
It was a very big deal, but we're very fortunate.
Will he qualify for specialty pay?
No, I mean, you can eventually in 2 years, but not right now.
Well, you can qualify for special pay if somebody falls off the special pay.
Yes, we are full. That's correct. Tim is right. We are full as far as positions available to be specialty, but yeah, everybody could in theory qualify for specialty pay after 2 years. So,
Who is he replacing?
Travis Steffens, he retired 783 was his badge number.
How long was he with us?
Travis Steffens was 20,
26.
Six.
yeah, somewhere in
He
that.
didn't come in front of the board, did he?
Retired? No.
Why not?
He went quietly into that good night.
He wanted to, huh?
He was
Like
Wine.
narcotics.
yep, swine for a long time, just on our ERT team for a long time. Just did his service and did it honorably and then left in the same way.
Great guy.
Yep.
That, when somebody starts past a step two, it requires action from the board. You do me a favor and make sure that it becomes an agenda item instead of a consent agenda.
You can blame me for that.
I will
sent
blame
it-
you for that,
I
Randy.
sent it to Jeanette. I didn't know she didn't really look at them, so that's my fault. I will take the blame.
Okay.
And if you would have explained,
If I would explain, yes, she would.
that would have helped us a lot. We knew nothing. So,
So he would have qualified for a coin, is that correct?
That would be correct.
Okay. Yeah, missed out.
okay,
So
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 we
that'll be
got a
on next
decision or discussion decision. Do I need,
I'll make the motion.
okay,
One second.
This is a one-time fix for you guys. Then if it happens again, we'll just take it off.
I will
We'll just
submit
take
it
it off.
to a lash.
Pardon
If
me?
you need to lash anybody, I will be lashed. I'm good with that.
okay, I got a motion by Jones and a second by Jorgensen to approve hiring at step 5. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
I,
Those opposed, motion carried. Thanks for coming in.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks for driving up here. Okay, next up, Matt Wyatt, Director of Planning and Zoning, second consideration of ordinance number 2026-04 entitled an ordinance providing for the division of taxes levied on taxable property in the Legacy Ridge subdivision urban renewal area, formerly known as Heartland Subdivision Urban Renewal Area, pursuant to section 403.19 of the Code of Iowa. This is the new subdivision out off Pioneer Trail.
Correct. This is our second consideration of the ordinance same one we heard of from last week. The subdivision sits on the corner of Pioneer Trail and Dumfries, just in that south, west corner there.
Mhm.
I'd hope to have the development agreement here today as well, but we have not received that back yet.
Okay,
As soon as it's here, you'll have it.
Not take another action item then.
It does. Yeah, that comes before the board and everybody for approval.
okay. Questions, comments?
I'll make the motion to approve ordinance number 2026-04
I'll second that.
for second consideration.
Motion by Miller, a second by Jones to approve ordinance number 2026-04. Please do a roll call.
Chairman Jay,
Aye.
Supervisor Wickman.
Aye.
Supervisor Miller,
I,
Supervisor Jones,
Aye.
Supervisor Jorgensen.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion approved.
We adopted that. Not just the second consideration, it's adopted now. That'll give,
We will publish the summary
that'll give,
next Thursday.
okay.
Next Thursday?
Yeah, it'll be published and then recorded.
Okay. Sounds like a good deal. Next up, Matt Wyatt, Director of Planning and Development. Discussion and or decision to approve the final plat of Schultz subdivision, a subdivision situated in Garner Township, and assign planning and zoning resolution 2026-11.
So this subdivision sits off of 205th Street and Honeysuckle Road. It's on it would be, if you went up 205th Street, hit Honeysuckle, head back to the west, about a quarter of a mile. Then it's gonna be, nothing has changed since preliminary plat. 4-lot subdivision, 2 will access from the eastern side of the property, 2 will access from the western side of the property.
Did you take a look at that driveway situation, Matt?
I have seen the driveway situation, yeah,
Okay, we're good with that?
correct. That's the only way we have it to make it meet the code requirements, so.
I'll move that.
I'll second, sorry.
Go ahead.
I'll second it.
Is that driveway paved?
I don't know if they'll wind up paving them or just being gravel. Imagine with the distance of them, they'll be gravel.
There'll be 2 entrances on this road, right?
Correct,
And our roads team's aware of that, right?
correct.
And will we be getting a developer's agreement for this one too?
No, this is just a minor subdivision, 4 lots. They won't be receiving anything from us for it.
Okay, I got a motion by Wickman, a second by Jones to approve the final plat of Schultz subdivision, resolution number 2026-11. Will you do a roll call?
Chairman Shay,
Aye.
Supervisor Jones.
Aye.
Supervisor Jorgensen.
Aye.
Supervisor Miller,
Aye.
Supervisor Wickman.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Next up, Andy Wicks, engineer, and Cody Forge, team leader, McClure. Discussion and or decision to approve and authorize the board to sign final plan cover sheet for project HDP-C078 210-6B-78 bridge replacement EPCB on Magnolia Road over Mosquito Creek from 260th east 1 mile. That sound right?
That's the one.
Wow, that was quite a mouthful.
We thought about adding some more letters and numbers in there.
Yeah, that would have helped.
Do you have that in your packet, Brian?
Yeah,
In your packet?
cool. Down here.
Okay, doesn't have any red writing on it, does it?
No, the one I provided Jamie does not have any.
Okay. All right.
Markings on it.
Is that did you get a motion or anything on that yet? Brian?
Have
Is
not.
that your recommendation, Andy, to move forward with that?
Yes, yeah, it's planned to turn in, is due at the 18th of August, so we'll get that approved. And then we can start construction for the next year.
Awesome, I'll do that.
I'll second that.
Got a motion by Wickman, a second by Jorgensen to approve
You don't have to
the
read
bridge
that.
replacement
There you go.
over Magnolia Road, over Mosquito Creek. There we go. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Got it.
You're not here for anything today, are you, Andy? Or are you?
Stick around for Steve's session.
All right, that's awesome. I'm glad you are. Just want to remind you that, if I can, that you still owe the board a set of plans for the Tamarack Road project,
I will send the.
specifically where it goes through Avoca and Minden.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me make sure, yeah. I'll review that. And I did bring Cody along if you guys had any specific questions for the Magnolia Bridge project.
That's handled, isn't Clay County the lead county on that? Is that right?
They're the lead on the funding package.
on the funding part of it, right?
Yes, yeah,
Oh.
yeah. All the specific projects funded within that package are not locally at on level. But the overall branch of that funding package is held at Clay, yes.
Everything going fine with that?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you haven't requested any funds yet, right?
The only inquiries we've had about the funding would be just the level of unallocated funds within that package. Our final estimate came in just a little bit over what we had initiated back at concept level, 6.6 compared to 6.5. And so we wanted to inquire if there was more funds available for us to capture with our project, and indeed there are. But other than that, we haven't heard any other feedback from Clay on the funding package.
Can you remind me again, is there any local funding or farm to market funding?
There is a match, yes, with farm to market.
It's farm to market money?
Yeah.
Okay. None from the county?
No, none from the county. There's some city bridge funds from the city of Underwood
Right.
included, the federal package, obviously, and then FM with CERT plan, the local match component of it.
You can't beat a project like that, right?
They're pretty nice, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, next up, Josh Wiesner, Finance and Tax Assistant, Auditor's Office. Discussion on our decision to approve and authorize the board to sign resolution number 51/2026 entitled Resolution for Transfer from Gaming Fund to West SWCD Pot County Structures Fund and East SWCD Pot County Structures Fund. Josh, there we are.
This is just the yearly budgeted transfer into those funds.
Did they request the funds?
They have requested those years ago, and we continue to provide that level of support. It's, in my opinion, it's peanuts to what it costs to maintain those structures. And that I do believe that at least the west side, west part of Army soil will probably be coming in to talk to us about that level of funding. The east side seems to be able to manage theirs. They don't have as many structures that affect the towns as west does. When you look at the Indian Creek watershed, it protects all of Council Bluffs. There are a number of structures on there that could use some help. But we've been doing this for as long as I can remember.
It's a good investment. It's a very good investment.
I'll move that.
I'll second
Thank
that.
you.
And the funds come from the gaming fund. I was just questioning. It seems like we've got quite a cash balance reserve built up for the east. And I just wanted to make sure that communication was being done to, like you said, there aren't that many that are impacted, but
Right. The east and west have a lot of money in their funds. I don't know if that's showing you the
this.
local option sales tax amount or the structure fund.
It's just the structure fund.
Okay.
And this was from a month ago. I
Yeah,
haven't
which-
seen something more current. What am I? No, it's a good program. I'm not questioning that. I was just.
And some of the projects are more costly. I do know that. Okay, got a motion by Wickman, a second by Jones to approve resolution number 51/2026. I'm going to do a roll call, Jamie.
Chairman Chang?
Aye.
Supervisor Wickman?
Aye.
Supervisor Jones?
Aye.
Supervisor Miller?
Aye.
Supervisor Jorgensen?
Motion carried. Thank you, Jamie. Okay. Next up, Josh, I believe this is you and Becky, resolution number 52/2026 entitled Resolution for Transfer from General Basic Fund to Veterans Relocation Allocation Fund.
This is another annual budget transfer. This is the one where beginning of the fiscal year needs to have 25,000 in it. So when we started this fiscal year, it had 10, so we're putting 15 in it to bring it up to 25.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
Any other questions, anything? Okay. A motion by Jorgensen, a second by Miller to approve resolution number 52, 2026. Will you do a roll call?
Chairman Tay,
Aye.
Supervisor Wickman.
Aye.
Supervisor Miller,
aye.
Supervisor Jorgensen,
Aye.
Supervisor Jones,
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you. Resolution number 53, 2026, entitled Resolution for Transfer from General Basic Fund to Secondary Roads Fund. This happens 3 times a year?
This one's just once a year.
This one's the 2 cents.
2 cents.
Levy.
Okay.
I'll make the motion to approve resolution number 53-2026.
I'll second that.
Questions, comments?
So then, Becky or Josh, then the 1 cent on the general fund levies now is about $72,500. Is that right?
Could be whatever, I don't have that in front of me.
Okay, I believe it is.
So that's a 2 cent deal.
That's our 2 cents that we put in there. I don't remember how many
2
years ago.
cents is what was
Did
approved.
we get a motion and a second on that?
Yes, I got a motion by Miller, a second by Jorgensen to approve resolution 53, 2026. Roll call, please.
Chairman Tay,
Aye.
Supervisor Miller,
Aye.
Supervisor Jorgensen,
Aye.
Supervisor Jones,
Aye.
Supervisor Wickman.
Motion carried. Next up, Becky Linehan, Finance and Tax Officer, Auditor's Office. Discussion and a decision to approve and authorize the board to sign a 3-year contract to provide professional consulting services to Potawatomi County by Cost Advisory Service, Inc.
Good morning. This is for Jeff Lorenz that comes in and does the cost advisory, process that he does. He's been with the county since 2007, it looks like. His fee's gone up maybe once in that time. And I think his fee, is very minimal compared to what we get back in revenues throughout the year.
Okay. Question?
Second.
This was very important to Suzanne Watson when she was trying to justify cost for administrative services that the county does. It was very helpful for her to have that report to fall back on dollar amounts, and she was able to capture money from the state for this. So I see the value in it.
Right, and it's DHS, WIC, and Suzanne, which is now DAP, but it used to be, the mental health.
What's the, is there a contract for the board to take a look at, Becky?
Yes,
Right here.
it was in your
Just
package.
in the packet.
Oh, I didn't see it.
It's not in our packet today, but I looked at it yesterday.
What's the cost?
Don't know if that cost is in there. I think it's 8,600. Oh,
8,220. That sound right?
8,220.
That's what I'm looking at.
And this has been going on since 2007, see?
2007 is as far back as mine went. I pulled the payables from Tyler. We go back as far as February of 18, which at that time we were paying
It turns out it's looking at.
$7,000.
The cost needs to be in the motion, for sure. Did you take a look at this, Kristen?
I don't know that I have. That's not one that I've seen for this year.
Is that time sensitive? Is this time sensitive, Becky?
I don't know. I think you can probably go ahead and have Kristen look at it before you sign it.
Okay. I mean, I don't have any issues with it at all whatsoever. I mean, I understand, and I think the board does too, the amount of money that is able to bring back to this county through our services that we provide to those other departments. So I think it's important. I would like to see a approval from a review by our county attorney's office, and then the cost of the contract needs to be in the on the agenda and in the motion too. So if it's okay, can we push that to next week?
I think that'd be good.
Okay.
You know, kind of an interesting side on that contract is that it identifies soft costs in that I see the service they provide is a soft cost, and about a third of that gets reimbursed with other soft costs like.
Right.
Matt, I have a question. If we don't reconfigure the courthouse from year to year, why do we keep paying him to update the contract? We're doing basically a cost sharing of space, right? But if we're not reconfiguring the courthouse, why do we keep changing that?
I think he keeps it up to date with current reimbursement standards. That kind of stuff.
He
not,
pulls all of our information when he requests information.
it's not just the actual space, it's maintenance costs. Have you heard his presentation?
Yeah.
I can't remember everything that's involved in it, but there's a lot more than just
IT costs.
just the space. So there's, I think he works with 98 of the 99 counties, maybe all of them, I don't know. So,
He's the one that came here with his daughter, correct? She
Yeah.
was part of the, yep.
all right, we'll move that on.
Okay. Well, that's it. No action taken. Next up, Trish Barnhart's Jail Administrator, discussion under decision sign contracts for independent contractor physicians agreements, mental health provider agreement, dentist agreement, and dental health agreement for the jail. Trish?
You.
Good.
We renew these contracts every year. I think it was last year we had put in that we were going to begin honoring the CPI for their annual increase. And that's what is reflected in the contracts that you guys were provided. We're very lucky to have their services, knowing how the job force is out there for these professional positions.
So what did it increase? No more than 2 and no less than 3. So where are we at?
It was 2.8%.
Oh, sweet. Okay. Is that your recommendation to move that, Trish?
Say that again, sorry.
Is that your recommendation to approve that?
Correct.
I'll move that, Brian.
Okay.
I'll second.
Motion by Wickman, second by Jorgensen to approve.
She has more.
Pardon?
Trish has something.
You should have all of those contracts already previously
I do.
signed by the applicant, by the.
I do. Who seconded?
Jorgensen.
Jorgensen. Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried.
Here's the cost advisory. It was out of order.
I saw.
I knew I read it. I just.
Getting closer.
Okay, hold on a second, I'll be done. Okay. Next up, See, that motion carried. Trish Barnhart, Jail Administrator, discussion and or decision to approve starting pay for new nurse and medical secretary.
Yes, we will. I'll go ahead and address the nurse first. Ms. Naughton comes to us with a lot of experience. You guys know our struggle in getting the nurses in the door, with the salary steps the way that they have it. She brings in a lot of experience. She's been retired for a few years. She's wanting to get back into the workforce. We are requesting that she start at
4313.
yes, the step 12, which is the same position that we have started all of our other recent nurses that we have hired.
She's replacing someone?
Yeah.
What was the salary of that other person?
The ones that we have had, they're all in that same pay grade.
You have enough money in that line item in your budget to cover that?
Without looking at it specifically today, yes, we did.
Okay, I'm not gonna move it from another line. I mean, you have enough room in there.
I'm gonna say, without looking at it today, yes.
I'll move that for you, Brian.
I'll second.
That one, the nurse.
Jeff? You?
Yeah.
Second.
Get that, Jamie. All right,
Motion by Wickman, second by Jorgensen to approve hiring a medical or nurse and medical,
No.
just the nurse. So there's two there. On the step 12, 4313, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion carried. Now, do we do a medical secretary? Okay, discussion and decision to approve starting pay for new medical secretary.
Ms. Frame comes to us with more experience than what the position, or than what the person had in that position, that she is replacing. Randy Hardiman retired after 26 years. Jody Frame has been in the medical field 28 plus years. And when you have positions like this that you get minimally, minimal applications for, and having individuals that meet the qualifications to do the job, we feel that we are going to either not fill that position, or we're going to have to pay the people for the jobs that they're going to do. So we are recommending that we also bring her in at the pay 12, or excuse me, the pay grade 12.
And that's the 28, 23?
28, 23.
I don't have any issues with it, Trish. I'll move that for you, Brian, on the jail.
Thank you.
I'll second that too.
Medical secretary. I do have a question for you though, Trish. Randy Hardiman, when did Randy retire?
May 29th.
Does the sheriff and the jail understand that we recognize retiring them, that they choose not to come?
The employees choose not to come.
Okay.
Okay, got a motion by Wickman, a second by Jorgensen to approve hiring the medical secretary, 28, 23. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Jasmine Elmore, Director of Human Resources, discussion and or decision. Oop, this one, I'm sorry. We took that off. Jasmine Elmore, Director of Human Resources, discussion and a decision regarding county wellness provider.
Since our last meeting, we've had the committee complete its review of the initial vendor demonstrations. So our broker is actually working to schedule the remaining few demonstrations that we have. It's approximately 3. I think they just had some scheduling challenges, what I understand. So the final group will also do a comprehensive review of all of the finalists following the completion of those presentations. But at this time, there are no decisions that the board needs to make at this time.
So you've seen one demo since last week?
They have reviewed all of the demonstrations. So there are 4 that we have. We had some people out of the office, and so those are also uploaded to like a Teams chat and the Teams folder for all of the individuals who are involved. If they can't always be on the call or the video at that time, they can go back and they can review those. But they have all reviewed those now at this time, and then there's 3 left.
Has the front runner changed?
Not for me.
For me,
It has changed.
Have you seen them all?
I've seen the 4.
Kelly, did you?
TV too, right?
I've seen all 4.
Are we in consensus at all, or?
I'm gonna look at that. I'm gonna send out there's a way you can send out like a request and you can get everybody to number those and see which their first, second, third, fourth choice would be. And then we can add in the others and then we'll determine from that.
Everybody happy with the process so far?
Taken a long time.
Taking a long time. When are we going to set up the demo for the board next week then? Is that what we're gonna do?
That was the intent. So I'm waiting to hear back from our brokers again, because I want the remaining 3 to be reviewed. And so that was between last week and this week. So I want those 3 reviewed and then we would get with the remaining group and then bring that back to the committee. So that's the intent, to have it on for the 12th.
11.
Or sorry, whatever next Tuesday.
Has the group picked their top 2?
Not yet. I think in their heads, they probably have which ones they are leaning towards, but we'll get that down as well and be able to bring that back to you.
Well, I think that's where is that where we're gonna be then? The board's gonna take a look at 2 of them and not 4, right?
You can do 3. It's completely up to you. We're gonna bring our top choices to you all. So if you all would like to see a top 2 or a top 3, you can decide that. We can bring it to you.
Did anyone else from the wellness committee make those demos? There was a
People
guy.
from the
There are some
wellness.
people.
Yeah, Kathy Callis from the recorder's office.
How about the roads person?
Sean was there.
And then there was someone else who was.
Michaela,
Yeah, did she make it?
Kate, and Kate's watched and Kelly's watched. So everybody that was assigned to that committee +1 and seen the demos.
Good. Well, I'm anxious and ready for this thing to move on.
We're excited to bring you the choices. So we'll continue on and make sure that we get the options and we'll bring them back to you for them.
Top 2 with pricing. That's what I would expect to see
Top
next.
2.
Top 2.
Okay.
Thank you, Jasmine.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, committee appointments. Jeff?
I have nothing to report as far as meetings go, but Brian and I were out to Hitchcock Park last week and took a tour of the facilities out there that need repair, upgrading, and so there's some issues out there that I think we need to take a look at.
I went to Hitchcock with Susan last week. I also went to the Treetops opening, the Chamber of Commerce, and then I went to CB 2050 at the library. Nothing to report.
I went to the CB 2050, participated in that. We had a bike trail meeting. I was also at Hitchcock And that's enough. Susan?
Yesterday, we had a REAP, a Resource Enhancement and Protection Program, meeting to talk about grant applications that have been submitted. And there were none really from the county that were presented. So we are working with the Southwest Iowa Rural Summit, Iowa West Foundation, and Advanced Southwest Iowa are putting that event together on October 1 to push out more awareness for the REAP program, because I think there's a lot of communities that could benefit from that kind of funding. I also attended the CB Chamber mixer at the Treehouse Apartments on West Broadway. I had a whited discussion and attended the Carson Rodeo.
Okay. Okay, next up, we have a study session. That'll be Steve Lynn. Discussion on capital planning. Against the budget director.
All right, I put some very rough numbers for you guys, pulling together
So,
information that was available to me at this point in time.
okay.
And we'll walk through these, so don't get too caught up in these yet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And as all capital planning considered a work in progress, we're going to hopefully make a lot of improvements to the plan so far. So what I've really started with was, we know that legislation has changed, and we're looking at a 35% cap on local government on unobligated funds beginning in fiscal year 28. So no time like the present to start planning for that. One of the things where we can benefit from is that's just a cap on the general fund. And it's excluding unobligated funds. So how can we obligate funds? We make a capital plan. So to kind of highlight the impact of what that might look like, that very top line on your capital plan 26-27 page is the general fund, where I'm showing the fund balance where it's at as of yesterday. These columns available for capital and recommended available, those were from Mitch. I don't have much background knowledge about how he pulled those numbers, but I retained them just because I think you guys had seen them presented that way before. And then I included the current year's expense budget and the revenue budget for the general fund to show what that 35% cap estimate would look like if we just said today, here's the general fund's reserves, and here's where our cap would be. So you can see if we had to implement this today based on the 26-27 revenue, our cap would be at 14.9 million, but we're estimated to be at 17.1. So we need to obligate funds to make sure we're not going to hit that cap. Now, talk to the state auditor. They're working with some groups to try to argue against this 35% cap, because according to our credit rating, our Moody's rating, we're supposed to have a 40% reserve, or it's going to affect our bond rating. So the legislation kind of went directly against that and is going to impact all of the local communities' bond ratings if they retain this 35% cap. So we're hoping to see some movement on that in this next session.
Stevie,
Yeah,
our balance is up and down all the time. When does this 35%, what is it, like the end of the year?
so they're saying that's for fiscal year 28.
Yeah, but through the year, we go up and down.
Yeah, that's a good question. It would probably be at the beginning of a fiscal year. So I'm assuming as of 7/1/28,
Okay.
That's when we're really going to have this nailed down and figured out.
So then during the year, we'll be up, we'll be down, we'll be up, we'll be down. They're not gonna scream when we go up.
Right.
That's my question.
Exactly, yes. So we're going to be planning for that end of the fiscal year and trying to be in the right place at that point in time.
Okay.
So that is, without any more in-depth knowledge at this point, this is just to kind of cement and say we really need to do more capital planning so that we know what our obligated funds are. So then if we go to the next sheet.
Did we say on that sheet first?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
You're on this one, right?
Yes,
All right. Here's what I would like to see.
okay.
I would like to see our ending fund balance, June 30, 2026. Not the fund balance of 8/3 of 26. Do you follow me? That's gonna give me more of an idea of what,
So that's kind of that last one. I put 731. That's supposed to be a 7/1/27. Sorry for my typo. So that estimated fund balance is basically what I'm saying we might be at the end of this fiscal year, at the end of 26/27.
we should be able to get that exact number from the auditor's office. And I just think we're short. I think that number is short.
Okay. It's really,
17, Tim?
Yeah.
and it's
That's
really
okay. I mean, we're just a
estimate.
discussion. I just want to know.
She might be run that real quick and bring it in for the study session.
That'd be great.
If they can, let's see. Did Josh send that to us? No. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry, they're gonna get that.
That's
You
okay.
just,
That's
and
okay.
you can keep going. The capital, communications, or you're talking about the capital project fund, right?
The Motorola project.
Yes, I fixed that typo somewhere else too. I pulled, a lot of this was pulled from older information.
Okay, so that should be capital projects fund, right?
Yes, that should be.
And that has the 8 million in it. And, 7 of that is spoken for with the
Air conditioning.
Motorola project.
Motorola. So if we go to that next page, we can kind of talk about the layout. And sorry to you guys are all.
Can I
going
ask
off
one more
nothing.
question before we change pages?
Of course,
On the gaming fund,
yes.
is your amount, what is that in the 26/27 expense budget? Are we way over committed on that?
So that is what is out there in the budget, and that is a question I had for myself, and I didn't get time to dig into that to find out why is it budgeted that way, or if I just looked at the numbers the wrong way. So this one,
That is not correct at all. Our gaming expense budget should be closer to approximately 2 million. I don't know where that 23 million came in.
yeah, I may have actually pulled Fund 2 and not Fund 3 for that.
That's okay.
That looks like a Fund 2 balance.
Yeah. So I will get that. I realized after I went through, I didn't really need those other funds budgets because I really just needed it for the general fund, so I kind of quickly stopped paying attention to that. Okay.
Land acquisition and improvement. We just we just put in a number
Mhm.
in there to spend in case either one of our parks wanted to expand with the ground or land purchase. We don't, if they don't, we don't spend it.
That one is not included in the 35 million, and neither is gaming, correct?
What,
Correct.
what 35?
35%.
They
so-
are not.
That's just the general fund.
And these listings of these funds, like Mitch had grabbed these funds, and so that's what I wanted to present to you guys, not knowing if that's what you were used to reviewing. It's really my jumping off point, and we can really focus on where we need to be looking. In your discussion about land acquisition improvement fund, that's kind of a description of a loose capital planning
Pretty much.
plan. But I think we can really get a little bit more specific about that. For example, I had a quick phone call with Andy this morning, and he said, we have a 5-year plan. And he sent it to me. And that is where I would like to get more of the departments and pull that information together, right? So they may each have in all of their departments great planning. We just haven't ever centralized it. And I think that's super important when we're looking at as many changes to our financial situation as we're looking at. We need to kind of centralize that data and pull it together. Do you guys want to talk about some of these projects?
I got one question.
Yes,
ARPA funds,
yes.
is that just in the conservation at this time? The
That is
816?
everything's obligated from conservation, yeah.
Correct. And it's down to about 0 when should be about down to 0.
Yes, and I haven't met with Jeff to talk about that specifically, but they are spending, they have spend coming through. And so it makes me, it gives me a good feeling that we're gonna be right on track.
Right.
Yeah.
Anything not obligated and spent by the end of this year has to go back.
Yeah, it's gotta be spent, and I'd prefer to see it spent, you know, in October time, so I have a little more breathing room.
Jeff is fully aware of that.
Yeah, we've been talking about it.
Do you see the difference? It's a big deal. And that's, that's the number that's the most important to me.
Okay, so it shows 20 million in our general basic.
Yeah.
And over here, we're at 17.
Yeah.
That's the number I'm going, where we're up and down and back and forth.
Yes.
Well,
And to think about, this is a snapshot in time, right? So this is June 30th. This was the end of our fiscal year. This is when we're going to be basing our reporting off of.
we're right in the middle of a tax collection period,
Mhm.
which is gonna give us a decent number. That's the number that's the most important to me. That tells me where we're at, what we're doing. If you looked at, if we could get a cash balance at the end of, at 6/30 of 2025, that tells you where we're tracking, or
Mhm.
you follow me?
Yep, I do. Yes.
And, so then if you took, is that 35%
That
figure?
actually is gonna take us up to 19.4 million with using that estimated fund balance.
How do you come up with, why did we lose 600,000?
Okay, so if I'm understanding you correctly about the question, the starting number is the 20 million that we had at June 30th. Is really what we want to look at.
So are you on Fund one, general fund, the top line
general
there,
fund,
right?
yep.
Okay,
So if we take our 20 million and we add in all of our budgeted revenues for the year,
no. No, just the cash balance. We're not adding any other revenue or expenses. They are going to, my understanding, they're going to take a look at our ending cash balance of 20 million and saying that, giving us that 35% number, then we're gonna have to work down to it, which we won't have any issues at all working down to that. I mean, in my opinion, well, we got an $8 million jail project that we have to work on.
I was just trying to project into what would be the end of this fiscal year's number. Where would we end at with our budgeted revenues and expenses as they sit right now? And where will that June 30, 28 number be? And that's going to be closer to 19 if we follow our budget exact, right? Which would put us even higher over that 35% cap. So if we, throughout the year, obligate funds so that it reduces that fund balance in the general fund, and say we obligate them into the capital projects fund, it's gonna help us control that. It doesn't mean those dollars have to be spent right now, but we've got them on the plan.
Okay.
So that's a long-term goal, right?
Yeah, right. The way I think about it, Steve Lynn, is that I look at our fund balance. What is our 35%? So let's just go by that number of, our ending fund balance was 20 million. 35% is 15 million. So that tells me that we are $5 million over where we should be. That would indicate to me that we have that amount of money to work for in our capital plan.
Mhm.
You follow me?
Following you.
And then, gaming revenue per year is about 2.3, I think it's about 2.3 million.
So one of the other pieces in this, Tim, sorry to interrupt, is that our budgeted expenses for the year are considered obligated. So they get to come off of that. They get to adjust that cap percentage. So if you have your general fund, you've got a cash balance, and you've got your next year's budget in place, those expenses are obligated. So you get to reduce those expenses to get to that 35%.
So does that raise our,
It raises our reserve, yes, yes. Does that help?
it does, but what percentage then?
So you would take your, whatever our cash balance is going to be at the end of the year, reduce it by next year's obligated expenses, what's budgeted, truly legally budgeted. And then you've got the 35% that you need to calculate from that number. And that is how I did this 35% cap on here. I looked at what our cash balance was as of August 3rd and reduced our expenses that are budgeted, because that's obligated. And then that remaining number is how I got that 35% estimate of where they want us to be.
That isn't on this sheet though, is it?
The calculation was built into my spreadsheet, so it's not showing you. So that is that division 10, 35% cap estimate, that 14.9 million. That is how I got to that number. So, and it is just one of the pieces of the new legislation. And even reading through the fiscal note that was provided to us, all of the different pieces of the legislation impacting our financial plans were kind of laid out individually. So they said, okay, here's the impact of the 2%, but we're not gonna tell you how that impacts the 35% cap. We don't know those pieces yet. I haven't gotten the format to kind of lay that out and see how they're all going to play together. Right now, this is really focusing on, if we had no other changes, how would that 35% cap look this year? Which is really, did you guys get the fiscal note to see this big long? Yeah, that's fun too.
Yeah.
I started it several times. I haven't finished it.
Yes, I've also started it several times. I've jumped through quite a bit.
So my question comes with FEMA reimbursements from the 2024 storms. That's going to hopefully hit our general fund this year.
Okay.
And my question is, how is that going to impact everything?
Without understanding how the FEMA project was run and how all of that went, my assumption would be we would want to transfer wherever those reimbursements belong to, wherever those expenses were paid out of. So I don't know where those FEMA expenses were paid out of, but if we paid them out of a different fund and we've been reimbursed into our general fund, we would want to push that money back to where it came from.
Our FEMA funds, if there's any even reimbursed anymore, would have gone to secondary roads.
Conservation.
It would have gone to conservation. Now they had more insurance claims than FEMA claims.
Conservation Day gets FEMA.
We have,
Say that again?
It did.
Conservation did proceed to FEMA funds, offsets with insurance funds.
Okay.
have we received those already?
I believe so, yes. Last time, when I talked to Jeff, I think so.
That wouldn't,
It's not gonna make a difference.
no, it's not gonna make a
Okay.
difference. And then the FEMA, any other FEMA reimbursements that we're getting for the flooding is going to those districts where,
Right.
so it's not going to impact our general fund at all.
And in the future, if we get any, you're saying don't put it in the general basic.
Well,
I think that's a fine place to bring it in, but we just have to recognize.
I mean, we got it,
that
but
we need
it's
to.
more a pass through, correct?
Well, it just depends on what project those reimbursements are paying for. If it's paying for a conservation, sure, it goes in the general fund. If it's paying for a road issue, it goes in the secondary fund. And if it pays for a drainage district, it's,
So does that make us want to spend that quicker within the fiscal year?
well, no,
You follow me?
I'm not
So that
worried.
we're not
We're not, those FEMA,
holding that at the end of the year.
I don't believe,
FEMA is 100% reimbursement based.
we're
The
not,
only thing you might get on top is some kind of admin reimbursement for running the project, which is a minimal reimbursement for wages, basically. Even that would go back straight towards wages, assuming that we've tracked that. And FEMA won't reimburse it if we haven't provided them any tracking. So, anything that we receive from FEMA should be able to be traced directly back to where the expenditure came from and reimburse whichever fund those expenses came out of, to try to get them back to the position they were in prior to the event.
That would have been my expectation, but for some reason, I've been told otherwise, and I just haven't tracked it back.
Oh, okay.
I think
And
Matt
that
has
may
something
be a
to put
larger
too.
project, yeah.
You got something to add?
I was just gonna say, I think that, capital improvement plan, Stevie's recommending 5 years is prudent. And that becomes the, fill number or the forced balance number in that if you plan capital projects and have a revenue shortfall, you can move those back to the next year. Or if you have excess revenue, you may take something from year two and move it up to year one based on its importance. And that's how you get to the 35% number with the capital projects.
We deal with that with Mr. Wick's plan as well. It's 5 years. The first 2 years are pretty set.
Yeah.
The second 3 are very fluid.
And some years you hit your budget and you just go, wow, there's not enough money to do that project. We can't do it this year. Which one's the least important? And we'll move it back 2 years back. Or like I say, if you have extra revenue, well, we got extra revenue. This project we were gonna do 2 years from now really looks like we can do it this year and fit it within the budget. So.
But at least there's a commitment on paper to show the auditor, the state auditor.
And I told Stevie on another project that Brenda, or another input factor that Brenda mentioned, we are gonna lose the Ameristar revenue for people onto the boat, which is how they negotiated the contract with the casinos. And it started out as a per customer fee that then they extrapolated, because we were telling people go through that turnstile as many times as you can, because it was like 50 cents every time they went through. So the casinos got wise to that, said, we'll give you a percentage of the gross handle, but it's only for a boat. And so when Harris went land-based, we lost that. When Ameristar goes land-based, which is probably 18 to 24 months, you're gonna lose that revenue too. So the only revenue from casinos left is gonna be the half of 1% that the city and county share.
Stevie, what's 1520? What is that money?
Which one?
That is our capital projects fund. So what is in there right now are bond proceeds, from my understanding.
6 million.
It says 8.8.
Yeah, there were some other funds we moved out of the general fund. Cash
Oh,
reserve in there.
Yeah, some cash reserves would.
So here's the number. This is my opinion, the number that we're looking at. If we want to try to get to 35%, we don't have to this year. And believe me, this board won't have any trouble meeting that.
Yeah.
So if you take a look at the general fund balance, 6/30 of 2026 was 20 million. If you use that 35%, which I'm okay with 30, to be honest with you. But let's stick with the 35 because that's on our sheet. So you're starting with 20 million. To get to the 35% cap, that's 15 million. You got $5 million available in your general fund, okay? We got 4 million, if you want to leave a $700,000 balance in your gaming fund. You got $4 million of revenue there, okay? The land fund, that's not changing at all. I mean, if there isn't any land acquisition, there's 4 million there if you wanted to leave a $369,000 balance in there to work with. Those three funds total about 13 million. Okay. We have 8 million in the capital fund, almost 9. So if we just stick with your 8, that puts us at 21 million. Okay. 16 million of that, almost 17 million of that is spoken for.
Motorola.
Yep. So that leaves us about $4 million for a capital plan. With an $8 million jail HVAC issue. But that can be handled over a 2 or 3 year period too. So it's not like you have to have it all right now. So if you did 3 million a year, it wouldn't be 3 million, it'd be 2.7 million a year. Anyway, just breaking it down for a first discussion, and I think there's some work that Steve Lynn needs to take another look at here and try to get us some numbers, and we need to take a look at our gaming revenue and see what kind of expenses in there that we could possibly dump. Because once you get your general fund cash balance down to where you're comfortable with it, there is no other funding available for anything. That's it.
You're missing out on the projects for conservation and for David as well then.
What's that?
Conservation wants $500,000 from us for upgrades or repairs,
They're asking for 1 million, actually.
not from us though.
No, not from us.
Well, I mean, it's real easy. I mean, let's just say we start with 4 million and conservation wants $500,000, right? Now we got 3.5 to work with,
David needs money for his project.
300.
So if we look at the next sheet, it kind of throws some other formulas or some other information in there for you. I've really broken this down by project and funding source so that we know when we have other funding sources available to us, we're not just looking at that project and saying, oh no, all of this has to come from the general fund or all of it has to come from one area. We know exactly where it's going to come from. And that's kind of a big picture. It's also, these are the projects that I know have been either in process or requested, and I haven't talked to everybody. So the scope of this is much larger than just trying to pick 1 or 2 projects here or there and saying yay or nay on those. I think, and every department has a list, and I have certainly not compiled that. I got a lot of Andy's current projects on there. And of course, the Motorola project is on there. Bike trails from ARPA. So I think if we try something in this format, this doesn't have to be just like this, but I wanted to present this to kind of get your guys' feedback and see if you think this will be helpful, because we need to know, we can designate all of the different areas where those projects will be funded from.
Well, when you take a look at, for instance, on the secondary roadside,
Mhm.
is that 35% cap also, cover secondary roads?
No.
I'm sorry, the, rural basic. Anybody know that?
That one, I don't know if that was in there.
I mean, it'd be important for us to know what that is too. What our rural basic, cash reserve is on there, because I'm not gonna spend any general fund revenue on on a secondary road, a rural project, a rural.
Right, he's got other funding sources available to him.
Not only that, he maintains his own,
Right.
right, I mean, so he really shouldn't even be on this. This should be everybody but Andy, because he's a standalone entity.
I think you want to have him on there, but I think you want to, it's the sources and uses and his use is the road, but his source is different, but it would just be nice to see what roads he's gonna do and
that's
Because
why.
this would help map out and say, this much of it's coming from farm to market, this much is coming from, I have on here the local cities that are funding for Tamarack, so that we know how much of that is going into that project or what we can expect to see from that. Now, again, it's bigger picture than, obviously those Tamarack road agreements, they have agreements to reimburse us over years. So we're not going to see a lump sum of what's in that funding line, but that's what we will recognize over the course of the project.
Andy, do you keep your, local option sales tax money separate from your,
Yes,
property tax revenue?
Fund 35 versus Fund 20.
Because the voters passed that resolution back, I think it was in the 90s. And the local option sales tax money can only be spent on capital projects. So when secondary roads has a need, and believe me, I want to be able to help everybody. But there's funding sources for roads that we wouldn't necessarily need to take from, say, a gate, because we wouldn't take it from the general fund.
Correct.
And the funding that filled up the land acquisition, and the capital, projects fund came from the general, not the rural.
And I think what Stevie is shooting for is more transparency and clarity for the board as well as the rest of the teams.
Well,
So,
I would ask you to take a look at your budget. You know, your local option sales tax funds the repayment of the bond that built the Hancock shop and the Central shop. And I don't remember how long that bond is for that.
I do not have the number.
But I think the payment's about $600,000 or $700,000 a year.
you said central shop, you mean rock?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
The secondary roads operations center, not necessarily
Right.
the rock, but you guys call it whatever you want.
the other one's central.
So I did
So,
bring in,
I'm sorry.
oh, I'm
So
sorry.
the six or 700,000, it goes to pay that bond. And I believe, I'm gonna be fairly close to this, that you receive about $3 million a year in local option sales tax. That has to be spent on capital projects. So, I mean, it'd be good to have that number too, so we can, you know, if you need a new sign truck, maybe you can pay for it out of that.
How much is the sign truck?
$211,000.
It comes with a, twin Cummins turbo diesel motors and 16 wheels, and it stands about 7 foot tall. You need a ladder to get in it, but it costs $200,000.
It comes with the chassis as well. Yeah, the whole lift kit. I can send you guys the.
You done signing those?
Well, I'm working on it here.
Okay.
I do have a question, just remind me, the opioid abatement fund. Okay, that's at some point it's gonna be spent.
Yes.
It's already pretty much obligated.
That's obligated already?
It can only have certain,
That's
spending
restriction.
available to it. It's very restricted. Thanks, Matt. I couldn't. get that word.
We laid that out. Was
There's
it
a plan,
last
yeah.
year or how we were to go forward with that?
Yes, I have the plan, and I just met with Matt yesterday morning, and we'll be working together to transition that back to me. So I have not had a chance to go in and do a full reconciliation like I have with ARPA
Thank
to
you.
know exactly where we sit yet.
But that doesn't even come into the discussion of a capital
Yeah, that's not
project.
really a capital
But
project.
I was wondering, is that a limited amount of money that's we're gonna be collecting for opioid addiction or?
Yeah, I haven't even looked at the full settlement plan, so I'm not sure exactly how much we're expecting to get. I know we've received some lumps, and I don't know how long that will go
Yeah,
on.
I know it's been brought up before, but I can't remember.
I'll be working to get a full reconciliation on that, so I'll have more answers for you in the future.
And just so it doesn't get lost, what Stevie said initially is very important in that credit markets look at what your reserve balances are, and your cost of borrowing will go up if you draw that down too low. And I don't know that 40 is the magic number.
So what do? Do we follow state law or?
Well, you've got to follow state law, which, well, it's just an additional cost put on the taxpayer, because of that law. And Stevie says, hopefully they're gonna revisit it and refine it. But I would, if you get a chance, I don't know if you use, Dorsey or Ehlers and Cooney and find out what their connection, which is Moody's, I think, for both of them. And
I don't think there's anything in the Iowa code that tells a city or county how much their cash reserve needs to be. It's what the governing body decides it needs to be. It can be as low as probably 10 or 15, 25% if you wanted it to be.
it can be, but you'll pay higher bond
I
rate.
understand that, Matt, but we're not required to carry 35%.
No.
30% is fine. If you wanted to go to 25%, I mean, that makes some additional revenue available for a capital project. Sure, your fund balance may be a little lower and the bonding companies might not like it, but when the state law changes and says a bond has to be voted in by the people, what are the odds of us passing a bond? 0. Okay, so this is just a discussion, I'm not recommending this, so do we really even care what our bonding rate is?
I mean, that,
I mean,
in the
you do,
future,
but-
that could be a big deal,
You do, but,
be on this board.
I think you can do up to 980,000 without a vote of the people.
County is much lower.
Is it much
County
lower?
is much lower, yeah. It's
But
like
what can-
400,000 or something.
What's the figure?
I think it's around 400,000. I have it in my office. I'd have to double check. But yes, our voting threshold is very low. So we could do, I think it is per project. But again, I'd have to double check that. I've got that. And as far as the Moody's 40% versus our 40%, I haven't looked at the Moody's. State auditor quoted me that 40%. I also don't know if that is general fund specific or throughout our entire financial position. But he was concerned, so it felt impactful, and something for me to be aware of. And I do think the bond rate is, or the rating is important long-term. You don't want to have a local government where you've got that history of having those low ratings.
Have we paid for the voting machines?
The voting machines are halfway paid for, so I've got that on here. And that's actually a good discussion point, because what we obligated for the voting machines is like my third project down. 600,000 is what we expected overall. We designated 375,000 to come from ARPA interest. However, there's only 367,000 available. We are short on the ARPA interest. So the other 225,000 were coming out of general supplemental. And that's a question I have for you guys. I believe the shortage that we have is 7,231. I'm guessing that will probably also have to come out of general supplemental. We do not have that second invoice yet. We've paid one invoice so far.
Does the 35% pertain to general supplemental too?
It seemed like it did.
Mine
That
does.
one
So
I
they
feel
talked
like it
about it
rolls up
not,
into
and
that.
then it came out, they voted it, that it did, didn't they?
Supplementals, no, it'd be,
Or the,
it's the two general funds that you have.
The supplementals are
Supplemental.
like all of our admin stuff and I don't think it does. I do not think so, but I will have.
the video yet? That's out.
I did watch,
Was it informative or not?
not super. It did not give me what I was hoping for. And it did also make me feel that everybody's still in this kind of waiting for more information. This is the same spot that I'm in, but I'm hoping Department of Management will come through with some further information.
So going forward,
we're looking at basically committing about $4 million.
So that's not a number I have for you. I know that what Mitch had plotted was, oh, I didn't bring that number. He had at least 10 million out there slated as, oh, here, that was his recommended available.
Well, you sent us
$11
an email.
million.
You sent us an email on that, didn't you?
Yes, so that was Mitch's old tracking sheet.
Yeah, and I can't find it.
Can you resend it?
I can. And actually, that is, Becky brought me a copy.
Did it come from Becky?
No, it came from me, but she also brought this. He said this was, oh, that one's the old one. This is the 26, 27. That's 25, 26. So this is the current year one, where I took this information and adapted it onto this sheet.
That's it, yeah. Yeah.
Well, there's only one copy, I mean, you can,
23rd, 24th.
Okay.
when did you send it?
Mitch sent it to us on March 24th.
Oh, Mitch? No, Steve Lynn just sent it to us.
I had sent it. It was the same thing
Okay.
that Mitch had sent to you.
I
It
know,
was the same
but when
document.
did you send, you can look at the, when did you send that, Steve Lynn?
That was before last week's meeting. Maybe Monday, last Monday.
Which would have been. Oh, there it is. I got it. Yep.
Was that the updated department? No,
Oh,
pardon?
and what was the email called?
IT
Virtual.
virtualization project for funding.
Okay.
But,
And so that's what I have to jump off of for our capital plan. And it was well, there's 2 years on there. And that's what I really want to get much more specific. The project list is very short. I want to expand that to really capture what's actually happening out there in those departments. And items like the HVAC coming up shouldn't feel like such a surprise if we do this plan. We know that's going to happen. That's a regular maintenance item. Those maintenance occurrences should be built into the capital plan. So I know this isn't a lot of information I'm giving you today, but it's just kind of laying the groundwork for where I want us to get to. And to kind of show that we don't have the kind of information that we're starting with right now. But we have potential to, one, do much better. And we'll give you guys more informed decision-making, hopefully, as to.
With this discussion, you know more of what we need.
Yes, not more of exactly where we're at right now. It's really like, you see, I've got a lot of blanks on this spreadsheet. I haven't even gathered all of the information that I need, but that's where I'm hoping to get, so that when you look at this, we're going to be able to quickly look at it and say, oh, there's a recycling center project and it's going to be how much? We need to know how much. That wasn't listed on that spreadsheet of what we think, potential project costs will be. And then have they come with different funding options? Do they know that they can get community support? Or are there grants involved? Things like that. That's the information level that I want us to get to.
Helps us make a better decision. David left, didn't he?
Yeah.
I was gonna ask him what his project went up.
so I think that this is what I'd like to see. I'd like to see a more accurate number of what we have.
Okay.
And if you take a look at that, and I'd like to go off of the general basic fund balance as of 6/30 of 2026. We already know what 35% will provide us, which is about 5 million. what would 30% do for us?
Okay.
Do you follow me?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, I wouldn't go any lower than 25, but,
Well, is that really
even
gonna
if-
put us in a bind though, through the year, between tax collection times?
No. No. No, it won't. You know, the only way we could, not collect funds is if people didn't pay their taxes. That atones to about, 1.5 to $2 million a year for the treasurer. But keep in mind, out of that money, any taxes generated by a property in this corporate limits of a city, we only collect 17 to 22% of that tax dollar. So, and on the rural side, it's about 55 to 60, 50 to 60. So we're gonna be fine. And you know, it's um, a rating service like Moody's doesn't simply look at your cash balance to determine your bond rating. It also looks at your debt,
Ability to repay.
yeah, there's so many things they look at. It's not just your cash balance.
That is just one of the pieces.
That's right, it's just one.
But it's a real important one,
Yeah.
because if everything goes in the shitter during the year, they want to know that you got a certain amount of cash, you can make yourself whole, and so.
And tornadoes do happen.
Yeah.
Or floods.
So, I think I think it's a good start, good discussion
too.
start. And if we can
Give
get
us more info.
nailed down a little bit better on the monies that are available for us.
And as you
And
guys
then-
become aware of projects, just like I'm going to be reaching out to all the departments about them as well. Just like Susan did, she shot me a couple of emails and said, I know about this project, or here's an email we could gotten. Just let me know, and then I'll know that that's something that I need to get added, and then we'll get better at this. We'll have more meetings, obviously, and try to slot out, future years. For now, we're trying to figure out where we're at.
Well, and this is my struggle. In the private sector, when you have a capital asset, you plan for maintenance. When you buy a house, you plan that you're gonna have to update it to keep it relevant, to keep the roof doing what a roof is supposed to do. We've got a lot of new buildings that were all built about the same time, and they're all gonna need roofs about the same time, and they're all gonna need new garage doors and get things replaced. Well, we don't have a capital management plan. We just talk about future capital or capital projects. And I think we're doing a disservice if we're not thinking about maintaining what we do own as a county. I mean, we've invested in a lot of things and we need to take care of them. So where does that fit in? And I don't appreciate getting projects on the agenda that have OMG after them. I mean, it's like, we need to plan for these
A
things.
lot.
Right.
Well, how would you, this is just a discussion, how would you levy for that, Susan?
Well, I don't know.
Because, when we got our new money last year, the state set our levy. And that told us how much new money we had, and we had to try to make that work. And quite honestly, there wasn't enough there.
Right.
So, in one of our motions that we did today, we know now that a penny generates about 72,500. You picked up on that, right? So that's what that does. So that would just, we were even somewhat able to add a penny to the levy for a maintenance fund, like you said, that a penny generates 72.5. What the board has done previously is we've had capital expense discussions with all of our departments. They told us what was coming up and what we needed to work on, and that's how we determined it. They didn't just come to us one meeting and say, oh my gosh, I forgot to tell you the roof's falling in at Ski Hills. You know, they'll tell us that.
I still think we should
But-
separate secondary roads. That's creating a lot of noise for us on that spreadsheet that we shouldn't be dealing with.
Well, it can be set aside in its own separate area. One of the things that I wasn't aware of Andy's, farm to market, and what was your other?
Highway bridge program.
The highway bridge program. That would be factors that we would include those. Those are funding sources. How much is covered by that? Is there any overflow that needs to come from somewhere else? But we can break those out per department or however you'd like to see it.
Just like Andy's project that he talked about last week, that's 80% funded by federal dollars and a 20% match. It would have 80% from the federal program and 20% from somewhere else to get to the 100% number you need.
But even like he's doing Tamarack right now, if he has a budget overrun, he's not gonna come to the board and ask for more money. He's gonna delay another project and switch funds within the 5-year plan to cover that.
Don't delay
Which-
that project.
Yeah,
I'm just
and
using
that's
that as an
totally
example.
fine, and it'll just be, they'll just communicate it and we'll get that, to the point. And maybe we don't need to break out all of his separate projects, depending on how that goes, but,
Yeah,
You do that already,
it's a
right?
work in progress for sure.
Yeah, and I just got this information to Steve an hour and a
Yeah.
half ago. So, yeah, then we'll sit down later this week. And I think that there's value to including secondary roads in some capacity to this, but yeah. we'll
Well,
work
when you
together.
ask for a new vehicle, I completely understand. But when it comes to road projects, that's a totally separate thing. And we're just adding clutter to our 5-year plan.
But
Yeah.
new vehicles should be in your budget.
Correct. We have allocated funds for vehicles, and this is one that, again, back to the deferred maintenance, we're kicking the can, didn't program it for this fiscal year, and now we're up the creek, we should have.
Well, and these are capital expenditures, and so they're, you can define it however you want to define it, but it's over a certain dollar amount and with a life expectancy of typically 5 to 10 years. And so all the routine maintenance comes out of the budget in some other form or fashion.
the, Andy, when you go back, why don't you take a look at your,
Lost funds.
local action sales tax fund? Let me know what you got there.
Do you get half of that, Tim, do you know?
No,
No. I know ours is, if it helps, was 11 million, so.
70% goes to the roads, 15% goes to, property tax relief, 5% goes to conservation, east pot soil and west pot soil. That's our 100%. And I'm kind of with Keith that certainly don't take anything that we say as a negative. But, I don't, all these secondary road projects, we don't, that's coming there and not necessarily a capital project. However, there are some on here that I'm really glad to finally see get done. The 400 Street in Carson and Tamarack Road and what is
It's
it?
gonna be soon.
M47 is it next year or 2 years from now? I mean, that's really good. And you know what? You need to really take a look at that G30 between L34 and Underwood. I mean, that is that's in pretty tough shape. That's the old Wayne supervisor years and years ago sat on the board and had that road paved because it went right by his house.
Rodenberg.
That's, I remember, I can't come up with it now. Anyway, that's for another day.
Well, Tim, you touched on another benefit to having the plan right there, is that you get to see those projects come off. You know, as you work through, you see the project, you go, oh, we've been planning that one for 4 years. Here it comes. And then a time to kind of celebrate our wins too, is that, look at these huge projects we've gotten and now they're behind
On the
us.
same page.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think, I agree with Keith. I think if we separated I don't have an issue of showing us secondary road projects. But I just like to have it separate from general fund expenditures.
Yeah.
Or general fund projects.
When is Tamarack starting?
We have
September.
the pre-con in a week and a half, so they'll get going right after that.
I thought it was September, the start date.
So they moved it up on us.
Well, that's really good. Did we let the landowners know that the farmers aren't gonna be able to haul their grain on that road?
Not yet.
Okay.
You know, we're off to a good start with our projects. I just don't know how we're gonna finish.
Yep.
The air conditioning unit.
Leave us.
Well, the first 3.5 million, I don't know where the second 3.5 is gonna come from.
I'm sorry, Keith, what was that?
We're off to a good start when it comes to the projects, right? We can cover conservation and the computer stuff. We can also start half of the air conditioning. I don't know where the second half is gonna come from.
Well, I mean, there's other projects out there too. You know, conservation has a bridge in Arrowhead that's about, may have 2 years left on it before it gets red tagged and it's not gonna be able to be used. That bridge needs to be replaced. That's something we need to put in there, and that's gonna be about, I'm gonna guess, not a conservation person here. I'm gonna say $150,000 to $200,000 for that bridge. And that's if we can keep Garfield away from it for a couple of years.
Let's send him somewhere else.
We should have we should have a list of things. It should not be a surprise.
Right.
You know, every October, they should say, hey, here's our list of capital projects that we're looking at down the road. Just be aware of this. You know,
Five-year
right
plan.
at budget time.
5-year plan.
And I think when we discussed this, I don't even remember now, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, whatever it was, that we were gonna try to get together and start the discussion, find some fundings, find the funding that's available, get our departments in here and make sure we got their input from all of them before we start allocating funding for.
Well, we have not put that out yet. We have not asked them for that kind of
No,
input.
how much money do we have, Keith?
About 4 million. Wickman said.
Okay,
Yeah.
here's something. The city of Crescent got into this I pay it deal. They're paying more interest than the banks.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you
And
know,
I talked to them at one of the ISAC deals up there in Des Moines. Can you find out what we're doing for interest on our balances?
You know, I certainly don't want to step on your toes
No.
or anybody else's, but
No,
you know,
not we's.
we spend it. Lee Boss
I get it,
invests
but
it.
if we can get any more money, I'd like to see if we're getting the right amount of money.
You see our
No,
cash reserves. I mean, a percentage would make a big difference. I'm all for what Brian's saying.
The city of Crescent
Well,
last
you
year
you
made.
can't
over
have
40
cash
grand
reserves making you money and spending it at the
by
same time.
changing their banks.
yeah. I mean, we can find out what our interest has been in the past.
I'd like to see where that's at, and that could be part of our discussion.
Yeah, you
because
bring,
We need to maximize every dollar we got for this 2% deal. And the way out of 2% is maximize our dollars and growth.
And pinch pennies.
Yeah, pinch pennies.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and
Andy alone sitting on $12 million. A percent for him would be substantial.
you know, Lee Boss does a really good job and the bank really looks out for it too. And if you remember, I don't know, you weren't here probably. But was that 2 years ago,
Yeah.
she got a
2 or
CD
3.
for 5%.
Mhm.
And she only used the money that she had available that she felt comfortable enough locking up for them. I don't know if that was a year or 6 months, but, you know, if that's a discussion that we want to have, we need to have it with,
Tim, one of the things
Lee Voss.
I pay it, and I agree, we need to bring her in and talk about it. But I pay it, you can put it in and get a higher interest rate, and it's fluid, it's not locked. That's a big deal.
It doesn't hurt to shop around.
And I get it, I don't wanna step on Lee's toes, but
What, she was in here one time, discussing about switching banks, is that correct? I mean, that's been some time ago.
No. No,
Decided not to do that or didn't?
well, the bank has to be, I think Lee did a,
Survey or something.
An analysis.
and bank has to be big enough to handle our business. And it's a, Potawatomi County is a huge,
Yeah.
you know, the Potawatomi County has a $100 million budget. City Council Bluffs has 100. So when you start adding it all up, all of that money, every penny flows through Lee Voss. Well, not every penny, but the majority of it. So I've learned, Lee Voss and
Yep.
this.
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
So,
got a lot of respect. Hey, we got anything else? You know where you're going with this?
I think so, yeah.
can we get a?
Questions, comments?
Does that mean I'm getting a sidetrack?
No. We haven't spent any money yet. And, you know, you need to get us your
Garfield,
your numbers.
we gotta go look at the bridge down by the river.
Can you separate, I think it's good to have the secondary roads,
Yeah. I can break
capital
this down.
plan
I
and
think
just
it's
break it
probably
out.
better to have it broken down by department anyway, because then you can really focus on those individual groups. So, yeah, this will, hopefully, as we go forward, will be much improved.
Cool.
Right, well, thank you, guys.
Thank you. Good discussion.
Motion to adjourn?
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye. Okay.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. We are.